Hello everybody, and how are you today? This is Sue McCurdy from Susie Q Designs, coming to you live from my craft room. How is everybody doing today? It's a beautiful day today. It was nice to get out and about and do some stuff, and now I'm excited to do Facebook Live with you this evening. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And please let me know where you're joining me from and say hello. So hello everybody, I hope you're having a good day. I had a great day, and today I have a video for you to let you know what's coming up for me with Stampin' Up and classes and color share. We're going to be doing a monthly color share, so I'm going to break that down for you today and let you know what's all included in it. Okay, so when I turn the camera down, I'm going to show you the paper share, so the color share. Because we're getting some new colors starting in May, and so the color club will start in May. So we'll be having May, June, July, August, and September. So 5 months for the 5 colors, and we'll need 5 people in each group. We've already got some people signed up, so if you would like to sign up for the color share, please let me know. That's great. Oh, hi Janet, how are you? Thanks for watching. How are you tonight? Also, on April 9th at 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock, I will be doing a watercolor class at the St. Thomas Hub. So if you're interested in going to that, please let me know or send me a message. On April 16th at 9:30 a.m., I will be doing a kits collection get-together here at my studio. And anybody can come for free that has purchased a kit from me, or you can come and purchase a kit or some card kits that I have designed and made myself. Okay, then I will be doing another card class here at 9:30 a.m. Also in April, but I will post that later. And then I'm going to be doing a toonie draw. Yes, okay, so the toonie draw, you're going to be at the Hub on the 9th? Okay, yay! I'm glad you can make it, Janet. That's exciting. So one of the cards that we're doing at next week's class, also this weekend's class in Wardsville, I'm doing a card class there this weekend. So these 2 card classes are going to be focusing on making 3 cards using watercolor images, well, stamped images and watercolor pencils that we're going to use with the water brush. So I'm going to show you one of those cards today and how to do it and how to make it. It's beautiful. You're going to love it. Okay, so for the toonie draw, we're going to have a toonie draw on April the 8th. The tickets are $2, as in a toonie, or 3 for $5. Now, what that's going to be is everybody who puts in any money for the toonie draw gets their name in the draw, and then whoever wins gets the pot of money. Unless it's over $120, then we can split it with 2 winners. But if it's less than $120, we'll just have 1 winner. Okay, so yeah, you can purchase tickets up until April the 7th for that. So you can just send an e-transfer, or you can add it on to one of the classes if you're coming to one of the classes this weekend or next week. Okay, the reason why we're having it on April the 8th is because whoever wins the money will be able to use it to put in an order on April the 9th. And April the 9th is the day that all of the retired items are, well, not all of them, sorry. Some of the retired items will be going on sale. So I've already done 2 Facebook post lives on which items are going on sale on April the 9th. Okay, so those items are going to go quick. Some of them may have already even sold out because people know that they're going on sale. Okay, so they do go quickly. So anything from last year's in colors to any of the other things that are retiring. Okay, so some of them will be on sale. So to celebrate that, we're going to have the toonie draw on April the 8th, so you can do the spending on April the 9th, and then I'm going to put an order in on April the 9th to get some of those reduced items before they're gone. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to turn down the camera now, and then I'll show you what's included in the In Color Club. Okay, so hold on a moment while I turn the camera down. All right, and thanks for joining me today. Okay, let's put the camera back in my holder and adjust what you're seeing there. Okay, so I'm going to refresh my feed on my computer because when I sit down I won't be able to see my phone anymore. And yeah, I got my laptop here in front of me. So if you come on, make sure you say hi and let me know where you're joining me from. All right, so I'm just going to enlarge that and try to get this in the view so that you can see it. Okay, so the new annual catalog is coming on May the 3rd. And along with that, I'll be hosting my new 2024 In Color Club, otherwise known as a color share. And this is what's going to be included in it. So the In Color Club 2024, each month you will receive the following. One package of cardstock, which is 24 sheets, so they're the 8.5 by 11. One stamp pad, so it's a full-size stamp pad like this, but only it will be with the new In Colors. One Stampin' Write marker, and one spool of coordinating ribbon. And then my gift for joining is a handmade card or a bookmark by me, and it'll be a card kit. So I might just cut out the card guts and you can put the card together, and or it might be a bookmark. One of the months I think we're going to do a bookmark. And then I'm gonna also add in a 6x6 coordinating sheet of glimmer paper. So there is going to be glimmer paper that match all the coordinating In Colors. So each month you will receive different color products that you will have all 5 colors by the end of the club. So each month we'll just assign a color for each person and then we'll rotate through all the colors. Okay, 1 month you will be the host for the club and earn the host rewards. So the order going in is approximately $200. So you will get $20 of free product on the day that it's your free, that you earn the rewards. So whatever month you choose. Okay, so the monthly cost will be $52.50 and payment is due before the beginning of each month. And the club runs 5 months from May to September. And these are the names of the colors. They haven't gone live yet, but I did post some other people's posts on my Facebook page that you can see them. So if you want to see them, then just scroll down on my feed and you'll be able to see them there. So these are the names of them: Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop. So they're just beautiful. I'm looking forward to getting them. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a card using some designer series paper, some white paper, and also the background I'm using is this piece of paper here. This came from one of the last paper pumpkins. So this one, it was called Memorable Meadows. So what I've done with that is I've just cut it up and used that as the focal point, well, one of the focal points on the picture, on the card. So these ones were double-sided. So these are what I'm using here to cut up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these left. I've already made a card with it, so I'm going to show you that. The one that I made already earlier today is focusing on the color purple. This one is going to be focusing on the color pink. So the great thing about all of our Stampin' Up products is that they all coordinate. On the back of each kit, it will tell you what the coordinating colors are, as well as if you get a paper pack, it will tell you all the coordinating colors. So what I've done to find some other coordinating colors is I knew this color is Fresh Freesia, so I'm going to be coloring with Fresh Freesia, and some of the other colors are in here today, so that all of this will coordinate together and look beautiful. This paper here, so this one is from this kit called Memorable Meadows. So I'm using that. And then on the outside and on the back, we're going to be using 2 strips of this paper. So that paper came from this paper pack here. So this was called Masterfully Made, and it came out in last year's catalog. So this one coordinated really well with it. And the purple one, I used a piece of paper from the Perennial Lavender set as well. Okay, and then the cardstock that I'm using is fresh FREESIA, so I got it from that paper pack. So the stamp that we'll be using today is from the In the Moment stamp set, and we're going to be using one of these. We're going to be using this image right here, and we're not going to use the sentiment from here. I've got a sentiment from, I think it was one of the paper pumpkins that just came out. So it's the little things that matter. I thought that really went well with this picture as well. So we're going to use this stamp set. Oh, I've already stamped it. So what I've stamped it in is in basic gray. Okay, so I just stamped up this, stamped that, and then I used a die from here. So the die from here that I used was this one, and I got this from the All That Die set. Okay, so that is for this card. The last card that I did, I used the same die set, but a different die to cut that out. So this is what the back of it looks like in purple, and this is what the front of it looks like. So now we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to color that and how to cut it out, and we're going to do it focusing on these colors now. Okay, so the measurements for this are, just going to move all these around. Okay, so the measurement of the base is 7 7/8 by 5.5. Okay, so these are the measurements that I used here. So 7 7/8 by 5.5, and then I scored it at 1 3/4, 3 5/8, 4 1/4, and 6 1/8. Okay, the designer series paper. So I've cut all of these pieces here at 1 5/8 by 5 3/8. So I did 4 for the front and 2 for the back. Okay, so these 2 here are going to be used on the back. And then this piece here is 7/16 by 5 3/8. And then the die I used, I already showed you that. And then the background for the stamped image is cut at 3 inches by 3 inches. So we're going to use this one to go on the back. Okay, so those are all the measurements. If you want to recreate the card, you can take a picture of that, and or pause the video and make it with me. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our bone folders, and we're going to fold this paper down. Okay, so we're going to start here and fold this one back. So when you use your bone folder, you get a really nice crease on there, and then this one's going to be folded forward. Just try to make it sure that it's straight. Okay, and then the other side, we're going to do this one back. And just get that piece of whatever off of there, and then this one forward. Okay, so I just used my scorer. You can use a scoring tool. The one I used was just on my paper trimmer. Okay, so I've got used to using that. Okay, so now we can start decorating, and then we'll do our coloring with our pencil crayons. So these are the watercolor pencils. So before I do that, I'm just going to glue some of these pieces down to get them out of the way, and then we'll have some more room. So I'm just going to bring in my Tombow glue here and my tweezers and start putting these pieces on. So this one's going to go in the middle, And I'm done with my bone folder, so I'll get that put away. And I'm just gonna start gluing, put a little glue on the back of these with my Tombow glue, and then center them on my card here. So I'm going to do the 3 pieces that were the front of the card that came in that card kit. It was actually a paper pumpkin kit, and our paper pumpkin kits have been really gorgeous lately. I've really enjoyed them, and I've made lots of different cards. So yeah, if you check out my videos, I always do some alternate cards with them. I find that a lot of fun. And then you can, I'm trying to find cards that really showcase the pretty paper when there's beautiful paper with it, like this one. So like even the backs of these papers are really pretty. So it's good to use those up. And that one's gonna go here. And this one's gonna go here. Put some more glue there. And then we'll get to the fun part, which is the watercolor pencils. It is very relaxing to do coloring, and I really like using the water brushes that Stampin' Up! Has. So I've done a few different images with them already and tried a few different colors, so I'll show you what I've tried so far, and then we'll do the one for this card. Just going to move this a little bit. Didn't get it very straight. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, and then when this card is put together, we're gonna have this at the front with our image, and on the back, we're going to put these 2 here and here, and also the sentiment. So the sentiment, I did it in advance just to save time, and the lucky people who come to the class will get all of these pieces already cut out for them and be able to get to do their own watercoloring and then make their card. So we're going to do 3 cards for the class, and this is going to be one of them. So at the class you'll be able to choose the pink or the purple, so I'm doing both. Okay, so and then how I'm going to do this on the back is I'm just going to glue a little over half of this sentiment piece on the left side and then attach it to here. So just do it about like that. Good, I did it on the right side. And then I will attach it here. And then you will have a cute little sentiment that will pop up when you stand up your card. So your card's going to look like that when it's standing. Cute view of it. And then now we're going to get to do the front part. So that's going to glue on there, and we're going to do our images. So just let me show you some of the ones that I've already colored. So for the skin, I've used the Petal Pink Light marker because I thought that was the best skin color that I had on hand, because the person looks really white, which doesn't look normal to be that white, so I put a little bit of flesh color on that. So I used Petal Pink Light. There was another marker that I had. It was ivory, but it looked kind of yellow when I colored it, so I didn't use that one. But there's also some other colors that you can find. We do have different shades in these markers that are darker, so I just don't have them yet. I should probably order them. So then I used these colors. So I used, well, I didn't use Fresh Freesia on this one. I did use it on this one though. So that's what the Fresh Freesia looks like. I used Night of Navy And on this card I used the purple. And I think I'm going to do it again. And then I used the gray. And the early espresso I used for her hair. And the green I'm going to use for the mug. Okay, so this is how it looks when you do it on regular paper. Because after you wet it with your marker, it does bend a little bit. Okay, because it gets wet. But if you use watercolor paper, it doesn't really do that. The watercolor paper works a lot better. Okay, so that's just the regular white paper. This one is done with the watercolor paper. So you can see that it has a grainy effect on it, and it absorbs the water a lot better. Okay, so you can just glue this down. You can use this. But this just works a little bit better. So I'm going to show you how we stamp that. I'm going to use my stamping platform to do it, because when you stamp on the watercolor paper, it is, you know, like a little bit grainy, so it's hard to get a really good image, so you may want to stamp it twice. So what I've done with my stamping platform, this is called the Stamparatus. We don't sell it anymore, unfortunately. It's crazy, but if you have one, these are great to use. And I can move that. Sorry, that's making a reflection on there. Okay, so you just stamp it up. Now with this, because we're using the watercolor pencils, we're going to use the STÄZON ink. It will not run once you add the water to it, okay? But this, however, will make it run. So we got to be careful when we use this. This is best, these are alcohol ink markers, so these are best used with the other ink that we have, the one that we normally use. What is it called? I can't think of it right now. Where is it? Oh, the Memento. Yeah. So this pairs well with that, but I really want to use that, so I just got to make sure I don't touch any of the ink on there. I'll show you what I mean when I get to that part. But this works really well with the watercolor pencils. Okay, so using the stamping platform, I'm just going to open it up. And I just put a little line here of where I wanted my paper to go. So I've got the nice watercolor paper in there. I'm just going to ink it up really well using the STÄZON. The nice thing about using the platform is if I don't get a really good stamped image, I can do it again in the exact same spot. So say I don't get enough ink on the middle, or one of the parts on here, I'll be able to re-stamp it. And you can't do that with the stamping block. Okay, so you just press it down. And this is a nice red rubber stamp. So I took the pad out of the stamping platform. Okay, so see how that looks here. The other image, because this is very flat paper, it stamps a lot better on here. And I just probably did that one once, but because we're using the watercolor paper, I might want to get a little bit more ink on there just to get a better stamped image. So that's why I want to stamp it twice, and you can do that using this platform. So I'm going to stamp it one more time, and then once it dries, I can go ahead and color and add some water to it. Okay, so there we go. It still doesn't look that great in the middle, so I'm actually going to give it a third one. But it doesn't have to be perfect, because the watercolor effect is going to look really nice on it anyway, so it doesn't have to be super dark. Okay, so that looks better. I'm going to take it off of the platform now and get this out of the way. Now I'm going to color it. So I'll just show you how I colored in the images. So I started with the gray I'm going to do for the window in the window frame. So I'm just going to put a little bit all along here. I don't have to fill it in really dark. I can if I want to, but it will it kind of melts it when you put the water on it. It changes and it allows you to brush it, so it's really fun to use, and I find it really relaxing too. It's like coloring. I find coloring really relaxing, and the great thing about the stamps is that you don't have to draw the images yourself if you can't draw. I'm not a very good drawer, so that's why I like to do the stamping. Oh, hi Gay, how are you tonight? Thanks for watching. Hi Sherry, how are you tonight? Thanks for watching. All right, so I'm just gonna bring in my water brush. So this is the one that has the pointy tip on it. And then I'm also gonna bring in a piece of paper. So it's good to have like a piece of paper nearby so that when you squeeze it, you don't want to squeeze it over top of here and get this all soaking wet. Just squeeze it a little bit, and then I'm gonna brush off the color that was already on here. So I can see here that I'm getting water to come out, and it comes out right at the top, and then it goes down to the tip. So I know I have water on it, so now I can start brushing it, and I'm just going to try to stay in between the lines here. And because we've used the STÄZON ink, the black shouldn't run. But when I go to do the skin, you'll see that I'll be very careful and not touch the black, because the alcohol ink will make it run. So there, it's nice and relaxing to do, and I don't have to put too much water on it, but if I think I need more water, just give it a squeeze. It tells you here where to push, and then you just go ahead and do it on the piece of paper first. And then what I wanted to do here too was do a little bit more, so I can get a little bit more gray in there where she's sitting. And then I can push, you can see more here how you push the color around. And this paper, because it's watercolor paper, is more absorbent than the regular paper. So it's not going to get all crinkly or wrinkled like the other paper did. Okay, so I'm done with the gray. Now I'm gonna do her hair, and I'm gonna do early espresso. So I'm just gonna do like every other strand here. So it'll kind of look like she has highlights. So some of the areas will be darker than others. And then when I go to brush it, just gonna squeeze that again, and then you'll see that, oh, I made a little boo-boo. I was going too fast. So that's okay. I'm gonna show you how to fix boo-boos at the end. If you get going too fast like I just did. It's okay though, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like watercolors are never absolutely perfect anyway, so it's not a big deal if you go outside of the lines, but just kind of go, like if I wanted to blend that more, I would just put some more water on it and blend it again. But I like that look, so it kind of looks like highlights. And now I'm gonna do the shirt, and I'm gonna match the shirt with her hairband. So I'm gonna use the fresh FREESIA to match with my color choice for my card. And that's great that these pencil crayons match the colors that are in the paper. So I'm gonna do nice and dark along where all of these lines are, and then I'm gonna blend it out from there. So it will look darker on her shirt where I'm putting the color, and then I'm gonna blend it out towards the outside. Okay, so because I'm switching colors, I gotta make sure I squeeze that and brush it to get any of the color off that's still on the end of the brush. Okay, but I do want to have a bit of water on there. So I'm going to, it's gonna look nice and light on the outside, and then darker on the inside. And if I want it to be lighter, I put more water on it. And if I want it to be darker, I would put more color on it. I forgot to color that part, so I'm just gonna try to get that done. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to bring it to the edge of her shirt there. Okay, so that looks pretty light. I could have done it darker if I wanted to. Okay, so now I'm gonna do her pants. Oh, I didn't do her headband. Got a lot of color up here on the headband. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean my brush off and switch colors. And I'm gonna bring in the Night of Navy. So I'm going to do her pants in this navy color. So just put a lot of color on the dark spots. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to blend it out with the water brush. So I'm just going to give it a squeeze, make sure my color is off of there. And then we're going to use the water brush and do that. So if you want it darker, just put a lot more color on. I find when I use the other paper, like the regular Stampin' Up paper and not the watercolor paper, it's darker. But this paper, the watercolor paper, it absorbs a lot more. So you have to put a little bit more of your pencil on it if you want it to look dark. Okay. And then if I wanted it lighter, I would just clean off my brush and add more water. And then it would look even more light than that. Just blend that out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna do her cup. So I'm gonna use the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to put it on that line, and then get the blue off my brush. And then just that little bit will actually blend out. Got a little bit too much water. And if you get too much water on it too, you can just dry your brush off and take the water off. Sometimes you'll see it pool on your paper, and then you can just take it off like that and clean it off. So there we go. That looks good. Okay, and now I'm going to do the pillow, and then I'll go in and do her skin after. So what color was I gonna do okay, I'm gonna do it in purple. So Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just gonna put a bit of color here and here, and then on these lines here. Has anyone ever done watercoloring with these pencils yet? Let me know if you've done it before. I really like doing it just because it's so like a calming, quiet activity to do. And it gives your cards or scrapbook pages some more visual interest too, because it's different. And this watercolor paper is so pretty. When you see it up close, you can see how thick it is. So it's a lot thicker than the regular paper too, so there we go. Okay, so I'm all done. And if I didn't like what I did, like say I thought it was too light, I could go in and put some more color on there and just brush it again. Okay, so now what I told you about these markers is it reacts with that ink, so I'm going to try not to get any of the alcohol ink on the black, or it will run a little bit. So I'm just going to use the fine tip. There's a brush tip on the end of that marker too. It's safer for me to use this one. And I'm just going to turn it so I try not to get it on the black. Okay, and then I'm going to do her foot. Try to avoid that ankle mark there. And that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so now if you do any boo-boos and you're not happy with, say you went out of the lines a little bit, these mono sand erasers work well for taking ink off paper. They're really sandy and gritty, so there's one spot, well, there's a spot there and a spot here. I think this one bothers me a little bit because I went out of the line, so I'm just going to use this sand eraser and try to clean that up a little bit till I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I'm all done, and then I'll just compare with the other ones that I've made. So here's some of the other images that I've colored too of her. So this one I actually did 2 colors of blue for the pants. I think I did both blues on that. Let me see. Balmy blue and night of navy. So to get that one nice and dark, I did 2 colors over top of each other. So I did the balmy blue, and then I did the night of navy, and then I mixed them together. This one is just the balmy blue. And then this one is lighter too. I just used the 1 color. Okay, and then here's some other samples that I had of other cards. So see how light or how dark they look before you add the water to them, and then they lighten up a lot. So it gives you a nice effect. All right, now I'm going to get my die and I'm going to cut this out. So the one that I used was from this set right here, so it was the bigger die. This is the Stylish Shapes dies, and it's in the annual catalog that is retiring. So these ones might be going away. I'm gonna have to check that. I'll have to check in my catalog and see, but these ones I really liked. So to keep it in the right spot, I'm going to put some washi tape on it, and then I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine, and I'm going to try to put this so that it looks square. And I'm just going to put some washi tape along the side to hold the spot. And then I'm going to bring in my die cutting plates, and I'm going to try to get that to fit on there. Oh, it barely fits. I could put it sideways. Do it that way. Okay. Okay, so when I do my sandwich, I want to have, well, because I'm using the mini machine, I'm using the really small machine, so these are really light, so I'm going to put this one up, the middle one back, and then the top one up here to match the base. Okay, so I'm going to make it like that. And then I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine and cut it. And then we'll be able to add it to our card. Okay, so because I've staggered the plates, it pulls it in easier. So this is really thick paper because I'm using the watercolor paper, so I'm going to run it through a couple of times. So I just did down and back. Get that out of the way, and hopefully it cut it through. Okay, good, it did. So that looks good. All right, so now I'm ready to adhere that on the backing that I cut in 3 by 3 inches, and then I'm going to glue it onto my card, and then we'll have a beautiful card. I just love it. It looks great, and then you'll see how all the colors coordinate. It looks so beautiful. I love this technique. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Tombow and just put some glue on there to adhere that. Try to center it, and then I will just need a little bit of glue because it's only going to be glued down the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to center it like that, and then I'll know where to put my glue, and then I'll just turn it over and glue it on. And there we go. So now we have a beautiful watercolored image for our card. There we go. Awesome. I love it. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.